Okay, let's unpack this a bit. When we talk about building truly decentralized financial systems, there's this one piece, right? It's always been incredibly challenging. A fully on-chain central limit order book. It's a CLO. Now, if you're familiar with, say, traditional trading, an order book is just, it's where all the buy and sell orders hang out. But the on-chain part, that's what makes it so tough in the blockchain space.
Yeah, it really is. And what's fascinating, I think, is that you hear a lot of networks claiming they support complex smart contracts, but very few can actually handle the intense demands of live real-time trading, directly on the blockchain. So today we're diving into how one network, the XPR network, seems to be, cracking this code. They're making a fully on-chain CLO not just possible, but actually thriving. And we're getting some great insights here from Marshall Hayner of the MetalX app.
Right. So if you've ever wondered about the nuts and bolts, how these decentralized exchanges really work under the hood, or maybe just why some things are so much harder to build on-chain than others, then yeah, this deep dive is definitely for you. We're going to explore the kind of unique architecture that makes this whole thing tick. So when we dig into the practical problems, the difficulties of building a fully on-chain order book, what are the biggest hurdles? Is it just about raw speed, transaction throughput? Or is it something deeper, architectural maybe?
Oh, it absolutely is deeper. And yeah, throughput and fast finality, they're critical, no doubt. But maybe the biggest challenge, the one people don't always see immediately, is how data is fundamentally stored and accessed on-chain, especially for something complex like an order book. I mean, I remember years ago trying to whiteboard this on other chains, and it just felt like you were using completely the wrong tools for the job. If you look at a lot of the EVM-based chains, try to do this at scale just gets incredibly expensive with gas, and it's really, really difficult. They're smart contracts, Solidity ones. They basically use flat key value storage. So developers end up having to manually maintain all these structures. If you want to find, say, the best price for an order, you're either looping through tons of entries, which costs a fortune in gas, or you need complex off-chain indexing.
Which kind of defeats the purpose, right? If you're aiming for fully on-chain.
Exactly. It totally undermines the whole point.
Okay, so if that's the common struggle, what's different about the XPR network? What are they doing at that foundational level?
All right, so the XPR network, it's built on Antelope, that used to be EOCO. And it's a WASM-based blockchain. Now, that means it supports high-speed execution, yes, but also advanced data structures right in the core protocol. So unlike, say, the EVM, which can be more restrictive, WADMM allows for more complex kind of low-level memory management and data handling, which is absolutely fundamental for enabling something like multi-index tables directly within the smart contract itself. And that's the key innovation here. It sounds technical, but it's huge. Multi-index table.
Multi-index tables. Okay, yeah, it sounds technical. But tell me why it's such a game changer. How do they actually work? What do they let developers do that's so different? Is it like you said before, avoiding that expensive looping?
Yeah.
Like getting a magnet for the haystack?
That's actually a brilliant analogy. Yeah, it really sets the stage. Precisely. These tables let developers create multiple indexes on just one table of data. So you can run incredibly fast queries on-chain using any field you've indexed, maybe price, maybe user ID, whatever. And you don't need to loop through everything or sort things manually. It just cuts out all those expensive, slow operations you see elsewhere. But the deeper insight here isn't just speed. It's about unlocking this new level of trustless composability.
Composability. Meaning things working together on chain.
Exactly. Imagine building really sophisticated financial tools, right? Like fully transparent derivatives, complex lending protocols, where every single data point, every price, every collateral check, it's all natively verifiable. It's auditable directly on the blockchain. You don't need to rely on some centralized oracle or any off-chain calculations. And that moved us much closer to a truly decentralized financial system where trust comes from the code, not some middleman.
Okay, and MetalX is actually doing this.
Yes, MetalX is a living, breathing example. They're orders. They're stored in a single table. But crucially, that table is indexed by price, by user, and by timestamp. So their matching logic can just query the order book by price, find the match, and fill orders in real time. And the key part, all of this is happening directly on-chain. This isn't just a white paper idea. It's in production.
That's a bold statement. It's production.
Yeah.
So what does that actually mean for someone using MetalX? What do they experience? What performance or features really show that this on-chain CLOB is, as you said, thriving?
Well, for users, it means they can place a much wider range of orders than you see on many DEXs. We're talking market, limit, stop loss, even take profit orders. And these orders aren't just sitting passively. They get matched by on-chain bots or really by anyone who calls the processing functions. It happens right there on the blockchain. And here's what's critical for performance and, frankly, reliability. Canceling an order, modifying it, executing it, it all comes with predictable resource costs. On the XPR network, we're talking about CPU and net. These are distinct resources.
Right, not like the single gas fee we see everywhere else.
Yeah.
CPU is like processing power, and net is bandwidth.
Exactly. CPU for computation, net for network bandwidth usage. This model gives developers really predictable costs for specific actions. It's a huge contrast to the often volatile and unpredictable gas fees tied to overall network congestion on many other chains. Plus, because all the contract logic is deterministic and transparent, the whole system can be audited by anyone. That's a massive win for trust in DeFi.
So are we saying this architecture basically gets rid of the need for those complicated, often centralized off-chain matching engines, or those expensive rollups people use for scaling? Does it just sidestep all that for this kind of trading? And if it does, are there like new complexities, new trade-offs, or is it just better?
Pretty much, yeah. With the XPR network setup, that high-frequency matching becomes genuinely possible on-chain. You get real transparent markets directly on the ledger, which, is a massive step for building actual trust, and all that advanced trading logic. Stuff that used to require those expensive, often opaque off-chain systems, now it can be built right into the smart contract, totally auditable on the blockchain. As for trade-offs, honestly, they seem pretty minimal compared to the advantages here. I mean, any complex system has nuances, sure, but the core benefit of bringing this function on-chain with predictable costs and full auditability, it really shifts the paradigm. It pushes what decentralized finance can actually mean. So, yeah, if we pull back and look at the bigger picture, it's clear that these multi-index tables might sound like just a technical detail, but they're genuinely a game changer. Without something like them, that goal of a fully on-chain CLUB, which is so crucial for truly transparent, truly decentralized trading, it's almost impossible to achieve efficiently.
Yeah, it's really clear that MetalX is showing this isn't just theoretical, it's practical. We've really seen how they're enabling that high-frequency matching, those transparent on-chain markets. And the advanced logic, like stop loss and take profit orders without needing off-chain engines or complex rollups. The fact that orders are matched by bots on-chain using predictable resources like CPU and net, not unpredictable gas, that feels like a significant step forward.
Absolutely. And this, I think, raises a really important question for you listening. If networks like XPR can enable this kind of robust, auditable, and transparent trading directly on-chain, how might that fundamentally reshape our trust in financial systems and, our whole understanding of what true decentralization looks like in the years to come?